Okay, so today, guys, we have Easty back on the channel. Did I nail the intro that time?
You're pacing somewhere in the middle of the two that you've done, but you can work on it.
Okay, good to know. We have a new deal on Carrot Corner right now, guys, which is the cash injection bundle. Cash injection subscription bundle, something like that, Nick. I don't even know what it's going to be called, but basically, people can get a free month subscription and cash injection at the same time. It's £149, and you get 2 months Carrot Corner subscription with that. You're saving money. Check out carrotcorner.com if you've not got the subscription yet and you've not got cash injection yet. It's a great way to get involved with our stuff. Check it out. But we are going to get into some more of these hands, which are Easty's foray into 100NL. We reviewed about 9 of them last time. Nick was pissed off. He said it wasn't enough hands. It was too slow. It's like his channel is like Nickelodeon, and my channel is like the Discovery Channel or like the History Channel or something. It's like really fucking boring. So we're trying to speed this up today, mate, and get a bit of adrenaline going as we enter a speed review. You ready?
Let's do it. But yeah, we've got like 15 hands to do, so let's get them done. I didn't even see what happened there. Did I call a free bet?
God, you want me to speed up and then you're not even paying attention.
I call a free bet. I call a free bet. Okay. Yeah, so we're floating here, yeah, like against small, I think.
Yeah,
Close.
I think it's fine. I think raise is okay as well.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you want to build the small raise in here in position, I think people play worse against it. So I might actually default to that if I'm not against the reg. You know how you have wars with regs and stuff, and they know who you are. If you want one of them, maybe not. But I don't think people 3-bet jam enough here, like globally at these stakes. So, I think all three options are very close theoretically. Let's say that.
Oh God, I've got no idea. I mean, I think it's going to be extremely close. I guess in position I call, and then I have to bluff river. I guess that's what I would lean on.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not a fold. I guess the question is like, do you have jams here? I think on double flush draw, your range does jam like ace queen and stuff in this spot, or some set that didn't raise flop is going to jam here. I think you can possibly jam this hand, although I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards like this being a clear call in GTO, but I don't know if in real life it's like grim. Like I don't know how often they're bluffing this 4 of diamonds turn. Honestly, it looks like on face value a turn that is good for your range and one they might slow down a bit too much on with their naked overcards and stuff. So I'm a little bit scared here of this just being really underbluffed, given its big blind 3-bet, given its early position. So I don't think I would jam in real life. I think it's horrible, but it's probably maybe a thing in GTO. Okay. I wouldn't do it. We do call. Great run out for range. Why are we not given the chance to bluff this fucking river?
Like, honestly, I was so tilted. I was like, I want to call just because I can put my money in.
It's like if you could raise 20 big blinds more, you would want to do it, right?
I would shut. Yeah, definitely. So annoying, man. This is like the why I called the turn, so I could shove this river. But I just wondered whether the turn seemed interesting to me. The flop seemed somewhat, I don't know. Like you definitely have options everywhere, don't you? Really?
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted just to raise the flop. Honestly, I just think it's going to be the thing people go wrong against the most. It would be my front runner play, and then on the turn I think I'm probably calling, but it's I don't think I'm folding obviously, and I don't think jam's right. So I think it's like a process of elimination. We're not really happy with anything play, and then I don't know what the hell this range is.
This
here.
Is so fucking annoying. Right, let's go next. I can't look at that anymore. Jack 8 off. Michiko Pirate is like a whatever reg. We go for small, which is fine. Whatever he calls. Turn, I'm using 2E for sure.
Yep, capped range spot. He doesn't make much 2-pair on the 9-5, 9 deuce sort of vicinity, so this looks like an okay sizing.
Yeah.
You might want to, as you like mature as a player and play more 100 and 200 in the future and play against tough regs that do know what you're like, you might want to chill with this 2E thing a little bit and like not do it with every single bluff every single time, because eventually like if I'm playing against you here and it's a capping turn, I kind of know that I can take like 6-5 and just call turn, call river with my eyes shut, and some people are going to figure that out, right? I don't want to tell everyone how to play against you, but I feel like we do this a lot, and for now that's fine against pool, but at some point this can come back and bite us if we're obviously over bluffing rivers or something. I don't know if you're always following through every combo or whatever, but it can lead to a lot of over bluffing if we're not careful.
Yeah, I take your point. I just need to be very careful that I'm not under value betting the turn. Like I need to have ace 10 here and king 10 here.
For sure. But also
Interesting.
just be aware of who the better players are that might be trying to get one over on you here. Okay, so we choose
I choose to shove with the Jack of
2x
Hearts.
jam. Interesting.
Yeah. We're blind versus blind. You know, this guy does play some raises like quite often on flop. I thought maybe he would have less flushes than some other people. And I think having Jack of Hearts does do a decent job of removing quite a few of those combos as well. And yeah, this guy is somewhat sticky, but potentially I don't know. Block 2/3 all in. I can see the advantages of all of them. I'm not really sure, but I decided to just go for jam.
All right. I'm going to give you my reaction to this play, editor.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
I think my problem with this, Nick, is that, yeah, you'll get called by worse sometimes. I'm not saying people will never be curious, but you are doubling, you are maximizing what you lose against flushes, and there are a shit ton of combos of flushes. See, when you 2x pot a turn, a massive region of your opponent's range becomes a flush on that river.
Yeah.
Ace-X of hearts is prevalent. 10x and 9x of hearts are both unblocked by the board. It's the worst configuration of which of the cards are hearts, if that makes sense. Like, you'd rather the 10 was the heart instead of the deuce or the 5, so your opponent can't have that like pair plus flush draw and flop, or 9x plus heart on turn. When you 2x pot turn, you're just going to push their range dramatically towards flushes. And it's not that you're an equity dog here, but I don't think your equity is anywhere near high enough to go for this. Like, to go for this, even if villain is a bit stationary, you're probably going to need like 90%, 88% equity, like something like that. And I just don't think we've got this here, even with the Jack of Hearts. There's also the fear that like this only gets called by flushes against some people, or mostly by flushes. You could be a dog when called here, actually. So I think I'm just going B75, and I'm just happy with that.
I think there's something. I'll be very quick at this point. On the turn, I know that I'm probably over bluffing. So like when I get there on the river, I'm just like, if people know that I'm over bluffing and I get there on the river, are they still not going to think I'm like, if I had ace 4 offsuit here with the ace of hearts, I'm so all in. Like,
yeah, no, but you've got hardly any bluffs now. The queen basically connects with like your entire bluffing range. You have to dig deep and find an exception just to come up with an air combo there. Okay, you have 7-8.
Yeah.
Okay, you have ace 4 with ace of hearts, but all of your other bluffs have at least hit a pair of queens now. This is not a river people want to call you down with one pair on or two pair on particularly often. Villain can just sit back here and call flushes in theory, probably on this particular card mostly. So if you want to go super thin for value on a brick where it looks like you could be over bluffing, where you've got hardly any value range and a ton of natural bluffs, that's a better spot to try this super thin oversized bluff on, value bet on, than the Queen of Hearts, where people are like, shit, like loads of his bluffs just got there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, 6-5, that one took a while. Let's speed up.
Shevakav's very good reg. We decided to donk after flopping straight. Seems good. He doesn't have 4s, 3s. We have 6-5. They shouldn't have much 6-5. Yada yada. We go for a 3-bet.
Yep.
Because fuck him. There you go. That's a short analysis.
I wonder if we should shove. And the reason is, like, I think flush draws call off. I think aces, kings, queens, jacks, 10s probably call off most of the time. Yeah. And there are so many action killing runouts here. This goes back to like baby poker. It's like, you know, kindergarten poker. Like, oh, the board could come something that kills your action, but like you're out of position and your line is going to really freak filling out. And there are a ton of turn cards where he's just not going to pay you off anymore, like a heart, a 5, a 6, something like that. We do block some of those turn cards. I would just rip the flop all in, because I think people have a real problem folding their value raising range in this spot, and I'd like to capitalize on that stationhood by just shoving now. But that's like a hard exploit line probably. I doubt there's anything wrong with this, like in theory.
I agree with you. This guy is very good though, so I'd be concerned about doing like super hard exploits against him. Go over 10% because it just seems like the best card in the world for my range.
I just want to say, I don't think it's a super hard exploit. Like, I don't think it's like unreasonable in theory to jam the flop here at all. Okay. I don't think it's like that. I mean, if you do think he's going to interpret that as really strong, fine. But like, this is also really scary looking too, right? I think if he's likely to overfold to jam, he's also likely to overfold to this if he's really good. So I wouldn't worry. Okay. Love this. Yeah, his range is drawing mostly dead. It does give his heart like a phenomenal price to peel, which is a bit of a shame. I guess you could size up a little bit here if you wanted, but yeah, he's always going to be able to profitably call hearts if you're playing this way, and I think you should play this way. Jam river, he folds. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a blood from a stone spot in the river, unfortunately.
Yeah, just if I had a bluff, then it would work.
We're so happy. Exactly. If you have 10-9 of clubs there or something, like, Yeah, it just gets through really, really often. Absolutely,
Definitely,
right.
definitely 3-betting the flop with 10 eye clubs. Yeah, 100% finding that. 4-bet the ace 5 of diamonds, which seems good. We
Mhm.
get called. Seems good. We're going to go for a small bet on the king high board. Turn, very interesting.
Yeah, I think like in these positions, your showdown value is quite limited. The fold
Yeah.
equity from Bether is pretty damn good in these positions, namely nines through queens. Yeah, I think I'm just betting here. I think I'm just happily betting
Yeah.
here.
I
Yeah,
decided on for that variation to go ahead and bet, and then I have to call, obviously,
yeah,
if they
you do,
shove.
you do. You could go
Yeah.
bigger, just to drive up fold equity a bit, and then just give up
Yeah.
river. It's one of these spots where they'll probably fold so much of the tens and jacks that like, if you go bigger and then check river, it's probably better than going smaller and then checking river, or going smaller and then going all in river, just
Yeah.
exploitatively, I think. So
Yeah.
don't worry about like the toolkit and the awkward SPR here or anything like that. I don't
Toolkit.
even mind, you know, right? Just bet 35 if you want. You're free to do
Yeah.
whatever you
Yeah.
want, and then you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cycle it off, ping it off on the river. Look at this.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, his line makes a lot of sense as a jam, actually, this hand. It's kind of a hybrid.
So
Yeah.
wrecked. I'm so wrecked.
Yep.
Never mind. Give me the money. King queen off. We get 3-bet by this guy who's like a fish, like playing all sorts, 3-betting all sorts. But I still wonder how I should proceed here. So we check call flop. I think fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is just terrifying.
Yeah, I'm just gone, I think, already. I think I'm just folding.
Yeah, and I think I'm doing my bollocks here because I get into the. I just can't let go of the pre-flop stuff, and then I
Yeah.
see this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I've just already decided I'm doing my bollocks. So I've got top pair.
Yeah.
But like he is mad, like crazy. It's some of the stuff I've seen, but then I
Okay.
still think that the turn pot is just absolutely hideous
Mm-hmm.
for me. But then there's just a lot of like available draws as well that I think he probably would just go ahead and do this with.
I
If he,
mean, how wide is his 3-bet range, right? Because that's what when I say full turn, I'm just thinking generic weaker player. He's a fish. He's
yeah, it's like
not 3-betting a ton pre, and then he's just under bluffing turn with
it's
pot. But if
between
this guy's
20 and
different,
30%.
oh right, okay. Well, it's not so clear then, right? When I say fold confidently at you, I'm giving you a verdict against an unknown of that player type. I obviously don't know who Rob Mugabe actually is and how he plays, so maybe there's
Let's
an
just say
exception.
Queen Jack off is in there for sure.
All right, okay, then this is more reasonable then for sure. Against the Maniac, I don't think there's anything wrong calling down here. He's going to have a lot of ace-king combos. He's going to be bluffing turn without definition sometimes. Like, Maniacs will bluff turn with ace-5 and stuff. If he's a true Maniac, I'd call off here and I wouldn't feel too bad about it. I just accept the variance. I can't really answer this accurately without knowing, like, the player as well as you do, though. I don't think.
I mean, I don't know them well. I just see like very erratic pre-flop stats. That's all I really have.
Right. So you don't call turn to fold river then. That's the big no-no, right? Because that's silly, because if you do that, you end up just like against the true maniacs, you give them an extra turn bet to then mostly fold to their, semi-inevitable river jam, and then against the title players, they were under bluffing turn already. So you make up your mind on the turn here against the recreational. You don't call turn fold river. That's the one thing to avoid. So I like that you called river as played. The fact he can have 10-9 off is testament to like the fact his range is crazy pre. Then again, he did pot it on double flush draw, and it's our job to work out like how much, precedence we want to put on the sizing there. I am a bit terrified by it. So my instinct is full turn, but there are exceptions for different types of fish.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. I'm getting better at this moving on business.
Par four diamonds, I'm never folding in a million years. Give me the flop, dealer. I don't know who Gazito is. I would use big bets if I was him. I can't remember what he does though.
I actually don't even think this is winning pre. Like, you're against a big blind range. It's probably under bluff. The SPR is just 100 bigs. Like, it might even be losing pre. I don't know. Just when you say you're never folding in a million years, I struggle to think. Well, fair enough. But yeah, it's probably break even at best, I would think.
Yeah. Understood. We have a call. And now do I want to check or do I want to begin the games?
I like beginning the games. The reason is, I don't know, it's a bit annoying that like fish check king, like a king on this turn node and then just call you down anyway. Like their reaction, I don't know if it's a fish, but their reaction to like bad cards they don't like is like, oh, I'll just let you put the money in for me, but I'll still stack off. It's really like silly reaction, but they do it. I don't know, man. I think like betting carries a lot of denial with it here because you have a pair of fours with a card that isn't sharing any outs with villains. So like all of his ace queen ace jack is super live here. If he has ace queen ace jack one heart, he might just call if he's a fish as well, and you just like win on the river. And there's probably some nodes where we do actually just want to like consider going blast here. I'd probably I'd bet. I'm also not bothered if I have to bet fold, so I'd probably start by betting like 14 here and maybe look to jam rivers. I kind of like beginning the games in these spots. I think people are quite capped.
I agree.
And it's also just very credible that you have something good, right? You don't have a lot of bluffs here. So it's pretty credible. Do you know the player at all?
No. So I think I'm in between all three. Yeah. I don't mind it. All three options seem available, to be honest. Folding, seems fine. Like people generally underbluff for this sizing, but calling seems good as well, because say you had something like 10-9 of spades, for example, Queen 10 of spades, like with poor removal that doesn't really want to put loads of money in, but does get here when it bets flop. Clearly, it's going to bet flop, and then I can see hands that I can very credibly beat here. And then jamming as well. Obviously, people tend to underprotect their block sizing, so jamming seems good too. I could go any of the ways here.
Yeah, it's close. I think I don't want to fold just because, like, if the regs are bluffing for this size, if they just decide this is a good bluff size, they're going to way overdo it, right? Because they're hardly ever meant to be able to use this size as a bluff. And villain lands on this. Because the king was a heart, villain's going to land here with way more air than normal, and I don't think they're going to block that thin either. So I don't think they're going to block thin enough for value here, because I think most of your range is 9, 7, 6s, or 10s, right? Just to sort of, or ace queen or something.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to block thin enough for value. I think that if they do start bluffing, it would be hard for them to like not overbluff, given that they need to bluff like 17% of the time they do this for you to be indifferent or something. And you unblock all of their air. So like all of the air that gets to this, like the ace queen, ace 10 type combos, queen 10, whatever, is unblocked. Yeah, I think I'm just calling. Shove is a bit weird in that you checked back the turn, and most people expect you to bet good hands on the turn. So now you're saying you have king jack of spades, king jack of clubs, or jacks. That's only 5 combinations. Some people are going to get very, very suspicious of that line. So I'd probably just call here, like you did, and be happy with it. I think that's an adventurous thin value block by a villain. I quite like it, actually, because you have a jack so rarely on this node. So it's probably fine, his sizing, and maybe he owned us there, but whatever.
Like he just snaps me off that jam as well. That'd be very embarrassing.
He might well do. You know, your line is very sketchy, right? Your line is like very easy to overbluff with once you start bluffing, and he knows he's just picked fifth pot. It's not like he doesn't know he fifth potted as well. So some regs will station that spot for sure. You can say that his range is underprotected and still say that it's over defended if he's stationed.
Yeah, true. Defend big blind with jack 10 suited. This is a Brazilian reg. Seems aggressive. We check call. We could check call. And then the river, he goes all in.
Okay. I mean, we have a great bluff catcher. We block jacks and 10s.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he's aggressive enough, he can easily overbluff this.
Yeah. We don't beat value.
We don't beat value. Absolutely not. But we have one of the better bluff catchers. We've said our opponent's aggressive. He does have 16 ace-king combos, another 4 king-9 suited. If this was button, I'm actually a bit more worried in a sense, because then he has king-9 off as well. Yeah. But then again, he has more bluffs. But against hijack, he doesn't have king-9 off. So it really is just 20 combos of value here. Yeah.
He also just has infinite, like, king X of spades and king X of clubs to choose from as well. Maybe even ace X of spades, ace X of clubs.
Or just like ace 5 of diamonds is more likely, right? That's the hand that's going to play this way super often, actually.
Yeah.
Or king 7 suited or king 8 suited that he has in hijack. Yeah, I think call's reasonable here for sure. I mean, if you don't call this hand here, you're definitely grossly going to overfold if you never call this hand. And that might be fine against most people, but against an aggro Brazilian reg, I don't think I like that plan. So yeah, big fan. Okay, cool.
Queen 10 of diamonds, we call a3, but Marco is a stain.
That means nitty, like, it makes you angry because he's so nitty kind of thing. Okay.
A stain on the game,
Got you.
So I'm like happy, but like, I don't know how happy, This is like how gross he is,
Happy, but like crying yourself to sleep already kind of thing.
Both options seem okay to me here. I think that if he bets here, he's extremely like strong, like horrifically strong. So I think that jamming and I don't know, like how like nitty is he going to fold like ace queen quick kings plus here? I mean, maybe he does. So maybe calling is just better. Maybe if I just jam here, I get just snapped off by like all the nuts. I don't know.
I mean, there's not that much nuts. Like he's probably okay. There's king jack off maybe because it is actually no. This it's cut off versus small blind, so there's no king jack off if he's a stain.
No, he's not king jack off.
So
no.
You're only losing to 5 combos of sets and 4 combos of straights. It's 9 combos. Meanwhile, he has 12 combos of kings plus. He could be merging for this sizing like queen jack jacks, ace queen, king queen. Definitely jamming. Yeah. I think
this is completely true. But like when I jam, I think he folds a lot of the hands that I'm beating.
So you're going to call and fold river then? Or do you think
Honestly,
he value jams?
This guy's so disgusting. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's just absolute stain on the game. He's what the stain on the game is invented for. This is the problem I have. Like, he will just fold the turn if I shove, and he has kings.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Then I guess he's not jamming the river with kings then?
I wouldn't have thought so.
I mean, this is an extremely strong read. I think the way you played this hand is so incredibly normal that I can't critique it. With your analysis, like, maybe you should... Like, what do you think is... So really, all we're really hoping for is then, if we call turn, he just checks river and we, like, win.
Yeah, how do you play against these guys? They're so gross.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly the level of nittiness here. It's hard for you to convey to me exactly, like, what his tendencies are, right? But I think shoving here is just, like... It can never be that bad. If we're really prioritizing saving that extra money against queens and king jack here, then yeah, let's call turn fold river. That would be the only other plan. Call turn call river is certainly worse than shoving turn though.
Yeah, I agree. I just have to die, don't I? But like, I hate giving these people money, man. Do you know what I mean? I just can't stand it. You're not going to show people what you had.
Oops.
People like to know what people have. I mean, shock. Guys.
Right, guys, tune in next week to find out what villain had in this hand. Oh well. Tails.
You're a gross pig, Marco, if you're watching, which you're obviously not. Okay, this is fun. So Samsungus is a even more disgusting stain than Marco.
You know what you should do? You should make like your avatar like a bottle of Sillet Bang or like a stain remover or something like that, and then you can be like the hero.
This guy's like 19, 12, 3 or something.
Yeah, this guy like collects model train sets.
Yeah, exactly. He goes to the urinal and pulls his pants all the way down.
He has like a step that he brings into the urinal with him. Okay, so what's even happened here? I have no idea what the action is.
I've 3-bet pre and c-bet flop.
Okay.
And now I'm like, okay.
Just check fold the turn against the stain.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we're at the river. So I don't think I can win. I don't think my hand shows down.
You can win against 10s easily.
Yeah, I could win against 10s. Mm-hmm. But I think he has a plethora of like ace 10 of hearts, queen 10 of hearts, king queen of hearts, ace ace jack of hearts. Yep. I think I lose on check infinite here, and I think he folds the river if I jam all the time. Unless he has king queen of diamonds, which he can have, or ace 10 of diamonds. Mm-hmm.
We do apologize about some of the weird sound issues today, guys, that keep coming up. Nick, you can't hear them, but like you sounded very bizarre there for a second. That's not what Easty really sounds like, guys.
I do sound bizarre.
Not in that way, though. Anyway, so 52. Like, let's just say you're capped. You're not going to call me with one pair. You're staying in the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to just make it huge, but I'm not going to go all in just in case he has the nuts or something, because there's no need, right, against the stain. So
I think you're right. I think maybe I just overbet here, but I just decided to jam because I fucking can't stand these players.
It's much... I mean, it's very appealing to just... I do this myself, right? I make this mistake all the time where I disregard the exact risk I'm taking, because it's like when you jump like from a building to another building, right? Like across a rooftop.
Yeah.
You just decide to jump and your adrenaline is in like, I'm going to make this jump. I'm going to do it. It becomes very binary and the blinkers go on, right? Whenever we take a risk in life or in poker. So the natural human tendency is just to like do the thing or not do the thing. And when we do the thing, we're like, oh, I did the thing. But when you actually think about it, if you go 58 or you even like you make this a thought experiment, you went 90 That's got to get the same reaction as 104, right? So we're just literally throwing away 20, 30, whatever it is, big blinds here are the times when this doesn't work because it's static, it's inelastic, right? So I do this all the time. So I'm not hating on you because it's my leak as well. And I need to wake the hell up in these situations and realize that too. Because when he does, stains on the game do slow play as well. And or not even slow play, they just have ace 10 of diamonds here, right?
Yeah, they do, yeah. Exactly.
And then it's like, why did we pay all that money? What was the point?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just an anger shove. It's like, fucking stain. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to be calculating with your sizing against these people because they are the marks that you can like be unbalanced against with your bluff and value sizing. Queen 10, so flat at 3-bet.
Marco here again. This is Marco.
Okay.
The stain. We go for call. We're very upset. I decide to bet the turn to check back river.
Love it. Good hand.
But yeah, when he calls, I'm like pretty dead, I think. I don't think he calls ace king here. 9s,
7s.
Yeah.
Jack 10. You're being a bit pessimistic about your equity here, but yeah, okay, I like your line. You definitely can't value bet river against someone like this. River is probably a value bet against like in GTO and stuff, you know, but like against this guy, no, definitely not.
No, 100% no. Ace king with 3-bet. Don't know who this is. Oh, he's short. Okay. We see bet flop. They call. Do we just jam the turn, or do we want to not play jam on turn? That's the question here. Do we want to just bet again? Do we want to play any check?
I don't think you jam. I don't think his range is high equity enough for jam to make sense. I think you can just go third pot, 40% pot, shove river.
I think maybe I shove here because he's short and like new. And if someone's new, I tend to think that they're just there and they've got their money there and they're like, oh, well, they're not there to wait for things to happen. They're kind of just like, oh, I've got this, I'm in, you know, kind of thing.
But the thing is, right, like if he has jacks, for example, there's a very real percentage of the time this will make him fold jacks. Whereas if you rope a dope here and you go 17 shove river, you might get them actually calling off hands that they would never call to jam. You commit them too soon with that line here. You commit the fish before they've had a chance to go down like the degenerate gambler's rabbit hole trap of like, oh, one more bet and then, oh no, the pot odds are good now, I can't fold. You let them off the hook here big time. Not a fan.
Yeah, this guy's thankfully a complete degenerate, so we're all good.
Well, then you still get his money on almost every run out. The thing is, like, the thing you're not doing here is comparative thinking that you need to be doing. So you need to be saying, if he does have a hand that's going to station me like King Queen, what is it I'm afraid of with just betting 17 and jamming the river? Like, what is I think is going to happen there that's bad?
I'll tell you what I'm afraid of, Pete. I'm afraid that he's opened Queen 4 of diamonds, called a 3-bet, and then that he won't give me all of his money on the river. Yeah,
but that's unlikely, and it's a really small like permutation. Definitely going like 20 here max.
100%. I agree.
I see what you did there. Nice. Okay. Do you have like the fellow Helmuth ultimate bet view there? Like, you just know he has Queen 4 of diamonds because you're an 888 pro.
I just assume people are very, very random when they have short stacks and they're new. So I just think they just stick it in too often on the turn, generally speaking.
True. But then again, comparative thinking. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good. So 3-bet.
This is the same hand, bro.
No, it's not, Nick. No, it's not. So what do you think about this turn, Jam?
Shit. Bet
Pocket
small, right?
3s.
Yeah, GM is like a pretty aggressive regular, very creative. We go for check raise, which seems very good. We are 2E on the turn for sure. Yeah, I like. And then can I shove the river, or do I need to block, or do I check?
I just block. Like, again, there's too many flush draws after the 2E turn. People are just not going to pay off enough one pair and stuff on this node for the most part. It's under the gun against big blind. I mean, also like all your straight, like a lot of your straight draws have got there as well at this point. I don't think this is going to be a station node. Definitely wouldn't shove. I think shove is bad. I wouldn't check either. I'd just go for some small value bet. I don't really care what the SBR is. I more just care about what my hand is worth, right? So I'm not going to worry about the implications of betting 21. If I think my hand's worth 21 big blinds, I'll bet 21 big blinds and I'll just live with the consequences, whatever they may be. What I don't want to do is like create some simplified strategy at SBR 1.1 where I just put the rest in because it's SBR 1.1. Like, I try and avoid that when I'm coaching. I tell people to avoid that. Yeah, like this is good. Honestly, I don't really care what you do because a good player will bluff this line. They'll be like, I'm getting towned. I have aces with a spade. I think they will turn over pair plus spade. The thing is, if someone starts bluffing you here with queen spade, king spade, aces spade, or ace jack spade or king jack spade, they're way overdoing it compared to how many flushes they have. You need 27%. Against the right player, I actually think this will get overbluffed, and against some it will get never bluffed. So it's just a matter of who your villain is, really.
This is the right player for sure.
Like it then. Yeah, very nice. So you just don't get to do that every time just because the other guy bet small, but they think they can. And this is the opposite of the stain. This is the guy that makes me angry because he's trying to be too reg, and it's like, how dare you try and be that much of a reg? Like, screw you, I'm gonna call you. I love this hand. I think you played this so well, and it takes such nerve to actually just go, nope, my hand is only worth this, but I'm open to the idea of calling jam. That's such psychological strength and bravery compared to like, oh, I'm just gonna shove so I don't have to think about it, because that's what a lot of people watching this do. I know that you're doing it, guys. Stop lying. I know you're doing it. Sorry, got a bit carried away there.
That's okay, mate.
King, Queen clubs. Of clubs. The last hand, I believe we've made it to the end. We have. No, we've not. No, oh my God, there's like five more hands.
Let's go, bang. Call a 3-bet. Looks good. Yeah, check call or check raise maybe. Seems fine, whatever. Blush. Value bet. Big.
What's he got?
Dunno.
No, think about it. Come on, you do better than that.
A lot of pretty weak range, I would say. Like,
so how is big gonna go really here, like against a human? How is big actually gonna go?
Yeah, not maybe not great, but like there's certainly some hands that will call big bets on this river.
Like what? Like what?
Like nines and eights.
What do they do if you check?
And jacks.
What do they do if you check?
They probably value bet.
Right. So if he's value betting tens and nines and jacks and queens and stuff anyway, and his range is mostly like nothing, check raise. Give him the chance to actually bluff, and he'll still value bet the hands that would call your bet, and then you get the check raise in on this node, or check call depending if you like over bets. Maybe you no longer want to check raise, right? You think he's not flush or rare. If he goes 2x pot, maybe you just call. But the point is, when someone's range is like hands that are going to value bet anyway, or just weak stuff that's unlikely to call a big bet, you don't actually want to big bet, you want to check.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see in GTO a lot of flushes check the river, because the opponent's range ends up kind of being this way that they reopen for a bluff a lot, and they still reopen for value a lot, and then you play the check raise. Yeah,
but maybe we miss out on some like ace high calls though if we do check.
There's downsides, yep. There is a downside, but I don't think the ace high calls are very abundant if you bet big here.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You could even go tiny block here, and he's still going to raise jacks a lot and tens. I like tiny block as well. If you go 5, he's going to call ace king, ace queen at some frequency. He's going to raise jacks and tens for value mostly, and he's going to bluff raise you a bunch as well. So I think you should actually lead tiny here if you're worried about that, not lead big. I mean, call, but like,
they can just have queen. They can just have jack high flushes, right? Or jack 8 of spades.
Jack 8 of spades, naturally. Yep. Okay. Next.
3-bet, flop top pair, small seems good. Don't mind either or on the turn. And now I don't know, call or jam.
Call, yeah, don't jam. I just think the bet call range here for this sizing just doesn't have enough value that you beat. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Same player as the aces hand.
Okay, then I think call's okay. I think he's going to have 6s and 7s too often here, and he's going to be playing them this way. Yeah, I'm a fan of call.
6-5.
Yep. Yeah. Too much bluffs. Over bluff spot against this guy. Yep. Nice.
Nuts.
Okay. I mean, you got to pay them sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh, I do all the time. Same player. Don't mind check or bet small. Don't mind a 3-bet or call. Check for sure. And then, it's interesting. Probably just going to bet. I don't think I want to check raise. So I think I'll just bet large here, and then I'll get called by a lot of jack X.
I feel like you're prejudiced against check raising, though. Like, I feel like you hate it. Like, you discriminate against it as a line.
I think it's too thin.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit thin. Like, what am I gonna? He's gonna bet 2/3 pot with a jack and then call. I don't know.
Fair enough. So you think he's gonna bet fold a jack, basically, is your read here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What do you think calls a check raise? What do you think calls a bet here? Other than a jack, which is betting anyway.
You'd have to call like 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
which definitely won't reopen.
So there's some combos like that, but not lots.
Yeah.
The better they are at raising the 3-5 suited type stuff as well, the more merit there is to bet here. My line on this is honestly that he's actually hit a 10 sometimes too, because he's got like 10-9 or Queen 10, and if he's going to value bet that, I definitely want to check.
Yeah.
I also think he could just reopen as a bluff here. Sometimes he could just have like, I don't know, Queen 5 of hearts and just reopen as a bluff. I'm still leaning check. I get what you're saying, but I don't think there's that many hands that are calling but not betting. Just because you don't expect him to call a check raise with a jack doesn't mean that it won't still happen sometimes. Like, I think you've got the best hand almost all the time, so I'm not really that worried about the implications of check raising. Like, okay, he might usually fold, but what are we afraid of here? Like, how are we losing in this spot exactly? Like, I think it's still okay.
I'm always afraid, Pete.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense that like you're not doing enough comparing of lines. Like, you're kind of stopping at like one thought about a line, and it might be better just to like try and go further down each branch and be like, so what? Well, what happens if I do that? You know, just get a bit further into it. Yeah, Jack 10 is like the one thing that beats us in this line, but oh well. It's also going to be super underbluff when he checks back turn and raises that sizing on river, but not underbluff. That's the wrong thought because there's hardly any value, but it's going to be very like rare that people have the cognition to bluff here against your river bet. But then again, they're repping so few value combos that it's a weird one. Okay, ace king.
3-bet, don't know who this is. Small or check. Probably half pot, 2/3, something like that.
I think just bet the flop because people are just going to underbluff monotone in this position right away. Whenever you think they're going to underbluff the flop, I would just take the value betting line, honestly. Okay. As the raw exploit. Okay.
Right. Yeah, this seems fine. And then close river between check. Or maybe I could block the river. Maybe I would.
Yeah, you should definitely bet the river. I mean, he can have like he mostly has underpair.
Yeah.
And they're just not investing against check. So you just have to pick a line that underpair could invest against, like half pot, whatever sizing you think. Maybe it's a bit blood from a stone because like he doesn't have naked queen. Because he doesn't have ace queen off on this node, maybe. Or maybe he does. And he has ace of queen. He has ace queen off. He has the ace of queens, Nick. The ace of queens.
The ace of queen.
He has ace of queens. So he has the ace of queens with a club, right? And then it's like, well, maybe he has that hand. Maybe he has jack's club, tens club, nines club. These are all like bluff catcher domain.
Yeah.
You don't want to turn your hand into a river check when you could have value bet unless you're against someone who knows how to take bottom of range and turn it into bluff. And what that means doing here is taking sixes club, sevens club, nines club, etc. and turning them into bluff. I don't want to rely on Pill doing that. So just value bet, right? Same pattern. Value bet against underbluffers. We need to get that more into your game. I'm going to value bet against people who are underbluffing, but I'm going to check raise in spots where people can bluff but can also value bet wide too. That's the thing we need to improve your river play with, I'm convinced.
Okay.
This is kind of normal that we do isolate against that sort of stuff by taking check call here. Maybe this is the player that turns sixes into the bluff on the river. That's the guy you can check or block against, otherwise just bet bigger. Okay, Jack 10. Last hand of this saga.
It's bluffing Baldy as well. This is a fun hand to end on.
Nice.
We 3-bet bluffing Baldy. Bluffing Baldy is the single biggest bum hunter that I have for sure. We get a c-bet small.
Yep.
He's going to call.
Yep.
And then we have a choice whether it's a barrel or turn. Now, I know that he thinks that I give him the rope a lot. So I'm a bit concerned about barreling here because I think I trap like very, very often against him because he pretty much takes it every time. Mm-hmm. But I still think this is a very good spot to bet in. I think he will just fold a lot of hands that have a lot of equity against me here. So I think it's very reasonable to just go ahead and bet.
Yeah, I don't think there's another way of going about it, right? Like, I don't want to check
I don't
raise.
Want to check call.
I don't want to check call. So you just kind of, and you don't want to check folds. You just kind of have to bet. Yeah. Unless you were like, he was going to play so placidly that you were happy just checking and realizing a ton. If that's not the case, you just bet here. Yeah.
No, unless it was him, I would never do anything but, this. We bet this and then he shoves for 40 more.
I mean, you just lose.
Yeah, but it's Baldy.
But you lose.
Okay.
I mean, like, what? How do we win?
How do we win? Well, it's Baldy. He's very, very erratic. Like, he likes to own me. I think he could turn pocket eights with a heart into a bluff here.
Okay.
he may turn like he will turn things that call twice into a bluff, I think.
Mm.
And like, what does he have? Like,
Ace queen.
I guess he has a lot of boats, I guess, but
It's ace queen.
is ace queen.
I want to be like, I just want to look at this spot. I've not seen the hand. When I don't know the player, I'm just overwhelmingly confident that villain has ace queen, like 9 times out of 10 in this spot. Now, all of your reads might make this different, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know Baldy. I can't really comment. Like, I can't really coach that. You know what I mean?
Wish I didn't know Baldy. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but like,
Yeah.
I guess the spot is against someone that you know is very, very aggressive. Do you think that they're going to find bluffs in this spot still?
The common answer is no. Like, even aggressive people are going to grossly underbluff this spot. That would be the common answer. There is a tipping point where someone becomes like super creative, imaginative, reckless, like crazy, and then like it's a different case. But it's just so hard just to use adjectives to like figure out who's who in this minefield. So I don't know, man.
If this was 10 and L, I think I would always call, but like, I don't know how much money he has. Like, he just followed me to 100. He follows me everywhere. So I don't know if he has the like millions or thousands or hundreds, but like, you know, I don't know if this is a big spot for him or not.
Yeah.
Like, I know it has to be bigger than 10, but like comparatively to his wealth, I don't know. I just think he would turn some things into bluff.
Okay. Well, if you think 9s with the hearts here pure, 8s with the hearts here pure, and it's very likely to do this, then again, you're in the similar situation to the one where you block the river with the set of 3s, right? Where the guy can start, like when someone does start bluffing here, ostensibly they start over bluffing because they have no combos of flushes now that are king high. When you have the jack and 10 of hearts, you have the best bluff catcher ever, right? If you are going to like play the combo game, and if they do bluff with 6s with a heart and they get here with that, I just don't know if are they calling turn with 8s here? Like, do you expect 8s to call turn?
I don't know. I also think they could potentially have 6-5 of hearts, potentially. I definitely think he'd float flop, and I definitely think he'd call turn. I know he would shove the river because I just have so much ace king.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I think I've said everything I have to say about the hand.
Yeah.
Okay, he's. I mean, as soon as like this is a possibility, it is really overbluffed. It's just like when I don't know the player, 98 out of 100 humans would never bluff here.
Yeah,
and that's why it's a fold against randoms. But I don't know, maybe against this guy it's good then. I don't want to condemn it against him because like clearly this guy showed up with ace of spades, so you're probably onto something, right?
Yeah.
But I've got to answer it in a responsible way for like these audience viewers who are playing against normal humans mostly, not bluffing Baldy.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got the ace of deuce.
The ace of deuce. Never going to let me live that down. All right, that was great, Nick. Thank you so much. We'll do more collab in the future. Good luck in the rest of your 100 NL and
thank you, man.
Beyond. And guys, don't forget, we do have the new cash injection bundle out at Carrot Corner. We can get a free month subscription by signing up to that if you want to get your foot in the door. Let's let you plug. I've done all my plugging. What do you want to tell people about before we sign off today?
Yeah, everyone's already left, but Easty22 on Twitch and Nick Easty on YouTube if you want to check those out. That's where I mainly am.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of, Nick's been doing a lot of cool like WSOP stuff, live vlogs, online stuff, mix of cool content. Definitely recommend this channel, highly entertaining. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye bye.
All the best.